Oh hey, it's been a while. The last thing you would have seen in the video was working on this guy right here. But I've done a lot since then. I've done a lot. I just didn't have the heart to make videos during school this year. So what I'm going to do is give you guys a bit of a tour of what we've been working on, and hopefully you think it's pretty cool because what I have coming next is going to be even cooler. Alright, so the world, from what you're looking at right now, probably looks pretty similar, but it'll start to change once we come up here. You'll notice that a lot more flowers are filled in. I got a beehive hanging in the middle of the air. I gotta get rid of that campfire. But I got a bunch of bee boxes all around here. And this all started because I needed a lot of honey. A lot of honey. And this was good at the start, but eventually I needed more. So, you know, there was stuff we had to do about that. By the way, what do you think of the Christmas skin? I think it looks pretty nice. Pretty nice. Got my Christmas sweater on, and my favorite pants. So we're looking pretty snazzy. So the next thing we did was I needed a mine because I was running out of resources. So we built this. I wanted to base it off of kind of the original mine shaft kind of feel, but like expand on that. And this is what we got. And we stop at this junction here. At this junction, you can find the East Iron Mine. So here I can dig out and get a bunch of iron. I'm just gonna take a moment to stop here to show you the West Iron Mine. And the view looking down from this bridge. I think it looks pretty gnarly. Continuing on, we keep on our way down. We get to kind of view it on the way up with the waterfall, and we make it to the end. I honestly didn't finish this train track. Yeah, I didn't fully finish digging this out. I got bored and moved on because, as you know, one of the rules in our world, you just have to focus on the little things. And I'm not gonna like force myself to dig a bunch if I don't have the motivation to do it. I'll definitely come back and finish this at some point, but right now I'm not super concerned about it. So let us fly down. This is where our skeleton farm is, if you ever watched the streams in the early days. We eventually make our way all the way down to here, where I built this lake with some diamonds I accidentally mined into because I was strip mining, and I feel very foolish. And this is our east and west diamond mine. I haven't, like I said, it hasn't been fully finished, but this area is like 99% done. I just have to finish digging out a couple areas and adding tracks, and then it is done. So this was the first thing we worked on. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's a cool mine for our kingdom here. And yes, I said kingdom. So if you don't already know about the plan, you will hear about it later this episode. So next thing you'll notice is we have a lake here. Now we have talked about making this lake in the past because I felt like a lake at the base of the mountain would look very good. I ended up building it. I finally got it done. I think it looks pretty good. I think we need to put some sand and gravel in the base of it because right now it's looking a little dirt. But other than that, it's looking pretty good, and I've been for the most part able just to ignore that for the time being. But what's this? We have these bubble columns. This brings you down into the base of operations. Now this has been teased in the past if you watch the streams. It has been teased in the past, but this is how you enter. I just realized I don't have a name for it. Leave me some ideas in the comments. But it's very heavily themed around copper, and basically the lore is I am this being in this world that like creates different civilizations all around the world. You know, some of them in different time periods and technology levels. And The copper golems are like my minions, kind of like to my Gru that help me do the building. And so you see I got some statues of them in the lamps here. As you can tell, I love copper. I love how I can like play with the oxidation as it gets closer to water. And up there you can see my fish swimming by. They're having a good old jolly time. I have one of every tropical fish in there. I had to travel very far to get to them, but yeah. And then down here I got some more fish. I don't know where they are. Where are they? We're just going to ignore this. I had fish there. I guess I didn't feed them enough. They're gone now. So now you'll notice that there is doors at all cardinal directions. Ooh, that open automatically and enter these kind of like corridors with water in the bottom, like almost in kind of like a high-tech sewer kind of feel. And then along each side, you see these windows peering into my different farms. And that's really what this area is meant to be, is it's my center hub with all my chests and my farms. They aren't running right now, but I could start it like this and it would get going. I have it auto crafting to paper. And then over here, it's very loud, but we have my XP farm and some like brewing stations and netherwort so I can make the infestation potions. My creeper farm, so I'll just go into free camp so I can show you. I have a bunch of layers on the creeper farm. It's just chilling there. Oh, by the way, to do that, I had to light up the caves. This took forever, for the record. I just wanted to acknowledge that so you guys can appreciate how much work I put into getting a creeper farm underground. Um, it was not a fun time. It was not fun at all. Over here we have the bee farm. Back to kind of what I was hinting at earlier, that I needed more bees. So we have wax on this side and we have bottles on this side. And I built this big tree in the middle. I think it looks pretty nice with the big beehive with bees floating around. It's pretty nice. Oh, they're getting kind of full. Over here, you can see the further we go down, the more unfinished it becomes. Missing a door here. Is my villager cycler. Now, fingers crossed this works first try. Ah, there's always two on the first try when I'm showing someone. It works entirely, other than sometimes you get two villagers. And it just lets you cycle through your villagers and trade with them. And, you know, once their trades are out, you just go to the next one. It's just a nice way of getting emeralds. I have spots for 6 different types of villagers. Obviously, I have the librarians there that I can sell my paper to. I decorated the redstone room over here, so you can see the like modules that I designed. Sometimes they get a little stuck here, but they always end up there eventually. So I'm pretty proud of this redstone. It was one of my first redstone projects I did in this world. And up here, we have the villager killing area. Or not killing, what? Bit of a Freudian slip. It was a Freudian slip. We have the villager breeding and curing area, once again with the brewing stand, with the barrel with the stuff we need in it, and like a little netherwort farm. It's a nice way to decorate stuff, is to decorate it for functionality. Like, you know, might have a big netherwort farm one day, but I'm never gonna really need more than this. And I can just kind of decorate the area with what I need around it, and that's always nice. Next up, we're just gonna fly over here, is the bamboo farm, which is not running. This thing does work pretty well. It just gets unloaded when I go over to the castle area. So I'll probably just... Castle area? What castle area? What? Me and these Freudian slips these days. I'm sharing more than I should be. Yeah, so I have one section just fills it with bamboo, one fills it with bamboo planks, and one fills it with chests. It just has an auto crafting system in the back. I designed this myself. I need to rebuild it. So it isn't hooked up with the levers yet, so it doesn't like switch between them depending on the lever. And the reason I haven't done that is because I've decided I want to totally redesign it to do double hopper speed. Because you'll notice this is double hopper speed right now, and this is single hopper speed, and I didn't plan for that accordingly. And so, however this does work quite well, I need to make it double hopper speed. And so I need to redesign that one in creative. And this is where I had a beacon, so I need to fill this in. But what's with all the chests? Man, I could really use a sorting system, you know? Yeah, I could use a sorting system. This entire area here is plans to go down here, so three rooms on each side, down a hallway, and then proceed in a circle around. And as you can see, I have it laid out here. We come up over here. You see, this is a place where I can have an amethyst farm set up. We keep on coming over this way. As you can see, it's not fully finished. But we make it to a shulker farm. Now, I don't want to spend too much time here because they'll start shooting at me. But this did take forever to build out, or dig out and build this thing. And I transferred the shulkers over here. Painfully. But it's pretty nice. I like it. It's getting us lots of shulkers. But now you're probably wondering, why do we need so many shulkers? Like, what is the meaning of the shulkers? Oh, here's my statue room. We need the shulkers for a special storage system I designed. Now, the room we're in right now is kind of a multi-purpose room. It's supposed to represent like the room I live in. So I have my bed, where I would traditionally set my spawn point. We have one of every axolotl but the blue one in here. They just go like AFK unless I go in there and nudge them around. I do need to get the blue one. That's on the list of stuff to do's. Over here, we have two different things, both of which are unfinished rooms. You can kind of tell about when I stopped being motivated to finish the rooms. I want to decorate this room like it's a oh, I'm failing the parkour. I want to decorate this room kind of like it's a lush cave, and with the story that it's kind of like uh half finished. Like I want to show the iron golems moving around as though they're building it, because I have no intention of actually decorating this entire room. That would be painful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably spend more time than it would take to decorate the room and make it look like a partially finished room that is in a lush cave where copper golems are building it. And so, you know, I'm making this harder on myself than I need to, but that's the plan. And this is an iron farm. It auto crafts to blocks and sorts out poppies and puts them back here. And sometimes iron, apparently. I don't know. It mostly works. I am proud of this design though. My goal was to make it a 3x3, so I used a copper golem for sorting instead of a traditional item filter. But then I needed to get the locking of the chests in a 3x3, which was difficult as well. But I have a pretty good system, and I think it works pretty well. And I got it all in that 3x3 size, which I'm pretty proud of. It was kind of a self-constraint, like a self-imposed constraint, but it worked out. This this is all taking place, like we're digging this out inside of a mine shaft. So I had a spider spawner that was like in the perfect place to put it in front of a window. So I built a little spider farm here. I go through a lot of string though, so it's almost always empty. And then over here, there's just nothing else. It's just a dead end because this is a giant build which I will be working on over the course of years. I have no interest in like finishing this just for the sake of finishing it with every single farm. Like I'll just add farms into it as I need them over the course of my playthrough in this world. And I think that is a-okay. Now, what's in this last room? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. So you'll notice I have a decent chest system here, a lot of which is empty because I have more chests than I need, which is the idea so that I have space to fill in when new updates come out. this is not auto sorted, and it also doesn't support having a lot of an items. Like you'll notice over here, I just have like spammy chest monsters from everything from digging this place out. And this is not my only chest monster of stuff. Like I have 3 chest monsters of stuff like this. And so I needed back storage for blocks that I have a lot of. So I designed a shulker system, as you can see over here. Basically how it works is I walk up and I look, stone. This shulker would be entirely filled with stone. I break it, and then it places another one. And I can input stuff into the system by just dropping raw items into this chest or shulkers into this chest, and it would auto unload them. That's basically the play. Now this is an unfinished build, and so for the other ones, I'm just acknowledging unfinished. They are unfinished, or like, you know, not fully done. Like most of them are 99% done. I just wanted to rush some stuff in this underground base so I could move on to the next big thing. And I'll probably finish them in like some downtime I have like later this year. But this one I was working on like today. Like in the last 12 hours or 24 hours, I built most of this. So I need a little bit of grace for this one. This is a work I just needed it done before we start our next big project, which I've accidentally leaked 3 times this video already. So basically this is what it looks like. You'll notice that it's repeating, so like there's some symmetry to it. I created this shulker autofiller that fills up a shulker completely and then breaks it and sticks it in the chest. Each one of these chest sections, like sleeves, hold about, I think it's like 1.2 million blocks, something like that. So this is pretty good. I needed them to run in parallel for efficiency. Is there a better way to do this? Probably. This is the one I designed. It appears to work. I haven't tried it even in creative in a full-scale manner. So I don't really know, but I know on paper one of these modules worked. I tested them today. So hypothetically, this entire thing should work. Oh, and once if like for some reason there's an item in this system that doesn't fill in one of our backlog chests, it just spits it out over here and it drops onto this hopper and it goes into these chests here. So I would just dump, like if I have a bunch of garbage in my inventory, I would just dump them in here, and then anything I need to sort into these chests are just right here and I can sort them out. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool system. I think it's pretty gnarly. This is what we need to finish up today. So there's a lot of stuff to get you guys up to date with. This is like 6 months of work, you see here, or more like 3 actually. Actually more like 2. I started this like reading week. This was a lot of work. This was an incredible amount of work, and we made really good progress, but this was the next thing on the list to do. Now, like I said, I have chest monsters everywhere of stuff that should be in this system. So what we need to do is we need to finish up this portion here. I'm probably not going to build the shulker and loader because I don't really need it. If that makes sense, I don't need it right now. Eventually, we'll do an episode where I just go around and finish stuff. Like just tidy things up. But right now, I'm focused on functionality, not beauty. Although I do worry about beauty quite a bit. You'll notice that I dig out large areas around my redstone because I plan to, over here, I'll have a doorway that goes out each side and lets you go in catwalks to view the redstone. I try and work redstone into the building in a way that you can like go and access it and it looks pretty. So I will eventually decorate this whole area, as tedious as that might sound. Above here, I plan to put an aquarium with the new nautiluses, and I'm gonna make basically I'm gonna make upside down coral reefs above it, so it looks like you're kind of staring down into the water when you look up, and I think that'd be pretty cool with like the new I'm gonna have one of every type of nautilus swimming around in there. And I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would look pretty nice. You'll also probably notice I got wings. I beat the Ender Dragon. I went out, I did it, I beat the Ender Dragon. I mean, obviously because I got shulkers and stuff. It was fun. It was a fun one. It was very easy. They make it's honestly like in this version of the game, the Ender Dragon is so easy. So it wasn't a hard undertaking. What was hard was getting Swift Sneak on these because I kept on dying to Wardens. So that was that was difficult. That one was a tough one, but I did it. I got everything I needed from it. I got the music disc, I got the Swift Sneak 3, and what else? I got the armor trim, silence armor trim. So that was like everything I needed from there. Uh, from the ancient cities. So what's the plan for today? The plan for today is we need to finish up this here and make sure it works. All right, so I think what we got to do is we got to place that there. We got the soul sand down, and then place this here. All right, we got the target block. We throw the target block there, and then this should work. So now let's put. Okay, so I believe that this is a little bit less than hopper speed, so this should never have an issue. Oh, okay, this is just hopper speed. Okay, this is perfect. Let's dump a bunch of stone in here. And let's take a look at this. So stone should be this one. So it should be filling that up as stone right now. Watch this be the first time the shulker doesn't land in the hopper. If that happens, I'm gonna just I will probably rage quit. Huh, so this doesn't work. This means I'm gonna have to do it the way I didn't want to do it. Alright, so basically what the problem was is I thought the lectern set to page 18 would output the right redstone signal to trigger this when it was full, but it turns out it does not. So I just had to use a shulker. Oh, that was very miscalculated. I just needed to use a shulker full of snowballs -1, and now it works just dandy. And so everything's all working perfectly now. So now what we got to do is start the long process of sorting all of our stuff into shulkers, because running all of our chest monsters through the system would take far too long. It's good for like dumping inventories or a few shulkers from like a mining trip, but it is not really here to sustain the volume that we have currently. All right. So we have it all sorted and it's all working great. So like just check this out. We got a chest full of stone. We break it. Boom, chest full of stone. It works great. This is pretty sick. I also mined some deep slate off camera, so we have a few shulkers of deep slate because we're going to need that for our big project coming up. Just so you understand how much stone we actually have, it fills all of this. So we have a good amount of stone. As far as cobble, we have a similar amount of cobble, but not quite as much. I was definitely putting an emphasis in silk touch when I was doing stuff, but we do have a fair amount of cobble. Not as much andesite. Not as much granite, not as much diorite, very little dirt, a little bit of gravel, a little bit of sand, a little bit of deep slate. So we don't even have as much as I was really hoping for, to be honest with you. We'll probably need to go out of our way to find more andesite and find more. The big ones are deep slate, andesite, diorite, and we're also going to need a lot of tuff, which would go right here. This is where the tuff would go. So it's kind of it's a bit of a difficult one. We're actually running a little bit low on stuff. I know we have a little bit of tuff over here. Let's see what our tuff is looking like. So we have this amount and this amount. So we can get tuff pretty quickly. I'm not as worried about that because you can insta mine it. We should have enough diorite for right now. Andesite we're running a little low on, and deep slate we're running a little bit low on. So those are kind of the ones that I need to, in between episodes, grind out some mining sessions just to fill it up. Last night in a couple hours, like in the one Joe Rogan podcast, I managed to bang out like 4 shulkers worth of deep slate, so I'll probably try and do that again tonight. So then I think about 8 shulkers of deep slate should set us up pretty well for what we need to next. All right, I think that's it for this episode. We spent most of the time kind of doing a little bit of a world tour of all the stuff we worked on in the lives. You know, if you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think I should add. Any comments, ideas, I'm really open to suggestions. This is a lot of fun building this. I'm going to be making videos a little more frequently on what's going on. I wouldn't say conviction is the right word, but I feel as though I should be making videos more. I really enjoy doing it, and I just love Minecraft, and I want to share my love with Minecraft with as many people as I can. And so I think making videos is the best way to do that. But I would stay posted for the next video. You know what? Let me give you a little teaser as to why you should stay posted for the next video. Check this out. This is this is why I rushed through everything, all those different contraptions and whatnot. I was trying to get prepared to build this monstrosity. Now this is just a rough draft. Like you can see I'm just like playing around with what I'm going to do. Like these walls are plain. I haven't taken the time to dither all of the gradients. But this is just a rough test, just screwing around with like World Edit and Axiom to kind of see what we're building. And this is what it's going to look like roughly. So like this is a rough idea. I think this bridge is pretty finalized. I really like this wall pattern. These towers are pretty finalized, but like, you know, obviously like this is very plain. This is very plain. Like I haven't fully finished what I want the towers to look like. But I think it's looking good. I think it's looking really good. I think I'm going to go with the prismarine over the warped wood. I think that's the right call. Now, mind you, that means we're going to have to build another farm, but I'm putting that off. I say it with pride and with my chest that I'm putting off making that the prismarine farm. I'm not looking forward to it. But yeah, this is the dream right here. This is the start of the castle, and this is not even all of it. Like, I mean, obviously I'm missing the backside. Like, this is just a facade, and I think I'm going to put another castle right in the middle here. It's a little bit taller than this and a little bit shorter than this, and it's going to be like the main castle, so like the throne room. And then over here, this is going to be more of like a kind of like a chapel or a church, or a cathedral, actually would probably be the better word. I think I'm gonna go with the yellow windows over the stained glass windows. Maybe I'll leave the stained glass on this one, but I do really like the yellow windows. I think they look super sharp. And here I'll show you why they look so sharp. Because they look like they glow inside of, they're like glowing warm light at night, and I think this looks really sharp. I really like the look of that. So that's kind of why I'm going with this. These yellow windows, I think they look really sharp, and they contrast the blue very nicely. I think they look super sharp. But anyways, Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.